Assalamu alaikum. This is Abdul Razak, and this is my individual assignment of International Trade Law. Code is BLM 4993, and the subject is International Trade Law. And assignment title is the International Trade Law, and my honorable lecturer name is Fauzia binti Muhammad Safar. And here is my table of contents. So I have explained through the assignment like this, namely introduction: what is international law, what is international trade law, what are the source of international trade law, discuss the international convention and treaties for international trade, shipping terminologies, and what do you understand by Incoterms, conclusion, and the last one is references. So what about introduction? Generally, international trade law includes the rules and customs governing trade between countries. International trade lawyers may focus on applying domestic laws to international trade and applying treaty-based international law governing trade. So, what is an international law? International law is a system of treaties and agreements between nations that governs how nations interact with other nations, citizens of other nations, and business of other nations. So, international law typically falls into two different categories. Private international law deals with controversies between private entities such as people or corporations which have a significant relationship to more than one nation. And what is international trade law? So, generally, international trade law includes the rules and customs governing trade between countries. International trade law may focus on applying domestic laws to international trade and applying treaty based on international laws governing trade. And what are the sources of international trade law? So the sources of international trade law are customs, treaties, and organization. So there is my discussion about international convention and treaties for international trade. Treaties can be referred to by a number of names like international conventions, international agreements, covenants, final acts, charters, protocols, pacts, accords, and constitutions for international organizations. So, a treaty is an agreement normally signed, ratified, or adhered to between two nations or sovereigns, and international agreements concluded between two or more states in written form and governed by international law. So treaties may be bilateral, agreement between two parties, or multilateral, agreement between more than two parties. So here is the 10 shipping terminologies such as cargo, consignee, tariff of customs, mandatory force, forward of freight, perishables, discharge point, salvage, BL or BOL, which full name is Bill of Lading, and last but not least, carrier. And what I understand from Incoterms. So to facilitate commerce around the world, the International Chamber of Commerce, which short name is ICC, publishes a set of Incoterms, officially known as International Incoterms. So globally recognized, Incoterms prevent confusion in foreign trade contracts by clarifying the obligations of buyer and seller, parties involved in domestic and International trade commonly use them as a kind of shorthand to help understand one another and the exact terms of their business arrangements. Some Incoterms apply to any means of transportation, while others apply strictly to transportation across the water. And Incoterms provide a universal set of rules and guidelines that help facilitate trade. In essence, they provide common language traders can use to set the terms for their trades. And some common example of Incoterms or rules for any mode of transportation include delivered, duty paid, delivered at place, and ex works. So here is the 7 Incoterms for any mode of transport are below: EXW, FCS, CPT, CIP, DAP, DPU, DDP. So here is my conclusion of my individual assignment about international trade law. So international trade law governs the way in which states may restrict or regulate trade in goods and service, including in relation to tobacco products. It's for the most part governed by the World Trade Organization agreements, with some states also party to bilateral, plurilateral, or regional preferential trade agreements. So here is the all about my individual assignment. So it's high time to say goodbye. So thank you everyone for listening my individual assignment, and thanks for having patience. So here is all about, and I'm hereby going to terminate my individual presentation today. So thank you.